Odyssean Studios presents the unabridged production of The Tercentennial Baron by Will Damron. Narrated by Gerard Reynolds. From the pages of D.H. Grimm's Spirits of the Night and Twilight. It has often been whispered, through the cloistered Scottish glens where his legend thrives, that to meet the Baron is to see how the veil between the realms is torn asunder, to feel the dread of darkness well up from your heart. It is, after all, from our darkest fears that these demons draw their lifeblood. And our darkness will always betray us. Scotland. The present. The boy scrambled up the rim of the shadowy hill. His knee slipped on the grass, and he cursed through ragged breaths, hands slashing the earth to find a hold. His panic flared hotter every second. If he didn't make the crest soon, his friend would die. Down in the village behind him, a scream tore through the still night. "Let it go," he ordered himself. "There's nothing more you can do for them. Get to the barn. Everything depends on the barn." With a rasping cry, he swung his knees onto the hilltop and clambered to his feet. Towering before him, like a beast roaring to life in the dark, was the stone barn. It was engulfed in flame. The boy swallowed hard. The barn had stood for centuries, an abandoned relic from the days of feudal lords and tartan-clad warriors. Now its stones were singed black, the roof gleamed angrily, and the doorway yawned into a blinding chasm, daring the boy to approach. His courage began to wilt. Nobody could survive such a fire. "But the old man has seen far worse," he reminded himself. He ignored the suffocating heat and raced toward the door. He was halfway there when he suddenly froze. A shadow had moved inside the barn. The boy peered closer, past the falling beams and roof thatching, and his heart leapt in his chest. A human form, silhouetted against the blaze, was rising from the barn floor. He wore a long, billowing coat and grasped a sabre that glinted with blood as he staggered to his feet. The warrior propped himself on the sword and slowly lifted his head. His vivid eyes glowed through the flames, arresting the boy in a haunted and desperate stare. The boy knew then that he might be too late, but he'd come too far to turn away. He swallowed his fear, drew a deep breath, and ran inside the barn. Chapter 1. Spirits of the Night and Twilight. Percival Dunbar snapped awake with a sharp gasp, slamming his head into the metal lamp above him. A merciless clang resounded through his bedroom, and he swore as he rubbed the sore spot. His face had left an imprint in the book on his desk, the paper wrinkled around the words he'd been reading the evening before. "Sunlight washes out the forms of ghosts. That is why they are best visible in the shadows. And at night—" Percival pushed the book away, hoping it would dry quickly. It was old and musty, its spine held together by two tattered strips of fabric. He dug it out of Granny's attic yesterday, when she'd sent him up to lay mouse traps, and he dared to believe it was more ancient than she was. He wished he knew. The copyright page had given up and left long ago. But he did know this was a book he could never let Granny see, for she would think the subject too disturbing, too dangerous, to ever allow him.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?